After my toddler learned how to walk, he became really obsessed with this little bike right here. It became his favorite toy in the house. He would bike around and around, and we started taking it everywhere, to friends' houses, to playgrounds, any sort of outing that we had. As he grew bigger and this bike started looking a little bit small for him, I started researching what the next bike is that we could upgrade him to. And that's when I learned about balance bikes. Balance bikes are basically very lightweight bikes without pedals or training wheels. Some popular brands include Strider, Woom, and Cruzy. We have a Cruzy. Many of these bikes are designed for toddlers 18 months and up, and in some cases 2 years and up. It just depends on the brand. When I went down the research rabbit hole, I learned that toddlers who start off riding tricycles actually have a much harder time transitioning to a regular pedal bike, and they often make that transition at a later age. I was a tricycle kid. I don't know if they had balance bikes when I was a kid, I'm not sure, but I remember learning to ride my bike, and if I remember that, I couldn't have been that young. Meanwhile, toddlers who start off on a balance bike have already learned the art of balancing, and they generally make that transition very quickly and often at a very young age. I've heard of 2-year-olds riding pedal bikes with no training wheels, 3-year-olds as well, and they usually started off with balance bikes. So we went on Facebook Marketplace and we found this awesome little bike right here, this Cruzy bike, for $50. It looked like brand new, so it was a really good deal. When we gave it to our 21-month-old toddler, he took to it right away. Within minutes of giving it to him, we went outside to test it out, and he had a very easy time using it. He wasn't gliding or anything yet, but he was walking with it and figuring out how to use it. Later that night, I was browsing Instagram and I saw all these videos of little 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds and very young toddlers riding their balance bikes around at pump tracks, which looked like an awesome idea. So I went to Google Maps and I wanted to see if there's like a bike park near us, and turns out there's one very, very close by. I had no idea this even existed in our area, and I thought, what a cool spot. Let me take my toddler here. That way he can practice. Being about 8 months pregnant at this time, I couldn't chase my toddler on the bike, so I made sure my husband always came along to run beside him and, stop him if he was going to fall. Anyway, we went to the pump track, and within just a few days, my toddler was gliding, going up and down the hills, and advancing so quickly. Of course, my husband was always right there, making sure he wasn't going to crash. Because sometimes he had a little bit too much courage, and he would just go down the giant hills with no fear and no knowledge of what could happen. Within 1 month, my toddler was riding like a pro. So now that it's winter and I have a young baby, we haven't gone to the bike park a whole lot. My toddler mostly goes with my husband, not so much with me. However, my toddler is still a pro on his balance bike. A couple months ago at the bike park, there was a competition going on, and a lot of the contestants told us that they started their own biking journeys with a balance bike as a toddler. So at this point, I think a balance bike is one of the best things a parent could buy for their toddler. And there are so many used ones that are basically brand new for sale on Facebook Marketplace for such a decent price. I got ours for $50, but I've seen them sell for a lot less as well. Does your toddler use a balance bike? And if so, how is it going? If you're new here, please feel free to subscribe to my channel. It would mean the world to me. I've got lots of videos planned for the future, so I will hopefully see you in the next one.